Hello everyone. Today we're going to see how to build a real-time object detection system using the AMD's Kria KR260 Robotics starter kit. By the end of this video, you'll have a working AI system that can detect and classify 80 different types of objects at 12 to 17 frames per second. So let's get started. What makes this project special is that we're using FPGA-based hardware acceleration, which means our AI model runs incredibly fast on embedded hardware without needing expensive GPUs. Let me introduce you to the star of our project, the AMD Kria KR260 Robotics starter kit. We have seen its detailed unboxing in previous video. This is a system-on-module, or SOM, built around the Pynq UltraScale+MP SoC. What does that mean? It combines a traditional ARM processor with an FPGA, field programmable gate array, on a single chip. On the processing side, we have 4 ARM Cortex-A 53 cores running at 1.2 GHz, perfect for running Linux and managing our applications. It comes with 4 GB of DDR4 memory and boots from a microSD card, making it easy to set up and deploy. But the real magic happens in the programmable logic. 256,000 logic cells and over 1,200 DSP slices that will configure as a deep processing unit, or DPU, specifically designed to accelerate neural networks. Okay, now let's go ahead and see hardware and software setup for this project. So, there are 2 types of hardware setups for this project: full desktop setup and headless setup. So in our last videos, we have seen detailed unboxing, feature overview, and setup guide of this KR260 board. You can refer those videos for more information and setup. Okay, now let's talk about the software stack that makes this all work. At the base, we're running Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, a full Linux operating system optimized for embedded devices. On top of that, we have Pynq, which stands for Python Productivity for Pynq. This framework lets us control the FPGA using Python, making development much faster. The AI magic comes from Vitis AI 3.5, AMD's development platform for deploying machine learning models on FPGAs. This includes the DPU, our hardware accelerator. For the actual AI model, we're using 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝘀𝗁, a state-of-the-art object detection network that's been optimized for edge deployment. And finally, OpenCV handles our camera input and image processing. All these pieces work together to give us real-time AI performance on a compact, low-power platform. Here is what we are building: a system that takes live video from a USB webcam, processes each frame through our AI model running on the FPGA, and displays the results with bounding boxes and labels showing what objects were detected. It can recognize people, vehicles, animals, household items, 80 different object classes in total, all running at 12 to 17 frames per second. Alright, let's get started. First, go to the repository of the project. Here, you'll get all the information, prerequisites, guides, important links, and all relevant documentation about this project. Here is the main guide of Object Detection Project. Let's see. So, this is a real-time object detection on Kria KR260 using webcam feed. As they said here, this project demonstrates hardware-accelerated real-time object detection using the DPU on the AMD Kria KR260 Robotics starter kit. The system uses a USB webcam as input and performs object detection using the 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝘀𝗁 Nano model running on the DPU accelerator. These are flow diagrams of pipeline overview and hardware-software stack of the project. You can refer these images for more information about the project. This is a KR260's AI pipeline architecture for this project. And this is a hardware-software stack. Then, there is information about hardware-software requirements and steps of setting up KR260 board, like how to install the OS and update the base system. So we have already covered this all in detail in our previous video. You will find links to those contents here in this table. In this video, we have covered how to install 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝗀𝗺 remote desktop software and make your system headless. Let's go ahead and see the step 2. Step 2 is about installing Pynq and Vitis AI Runtime. Here, we will clone the repository and run the installation script. Just follow along and see. Let's first clone the repository. Then, enter into the main directory folder. Then navigate to the script folder. And finally, run the installation script to install the Pynq and Vitis AI Runtime. This takes about 30 to 45 minutes, so this is a perfect time for a coffee break. Script installs Pynq framework, Vitis AI Runtime 3.5, DPU Pynq interface, and runtime patches required for KR260. In step 2, we will verify installation. So here we have given few commands to test these actions. You can execute them to verify the installation of Pynq and DPU runtime. First, we will activate virtual environment. Then, there are inline Python codes which you can directly run as command strings. These commands will verify the Pynq and DPU runtime installations. You can see in those commands that we are actually importing the Pynq and DPU packages. And we are getting output as expected. As they said, if this command displays DPU runtime available, this means the installation was successful. Okay, next step is to test the webcam. So before running the AI inference, we need to verify that our web camera works. So for that, we have given a test script. When you run the script, you will see live feed of webcam. You will get this camera testing code in examples folder. Please note, this script is a Python code, so you first need to enter correct USB interface name and path of your camera in code. So, in code, we have written 0 in OpenCV video capture function. Here you have to enter your camera interface number. You will get that info by using list devices command. Let me show you. So you can see our camera, Logitech C270 webcam, is connected to Video 0 interface. Okay, now let's run the camera testing code. And you can see our camera live feed get opened successfully. You can also see the frame rate in terminal window. Now, let's get the object detection code. We tried to run the code with GStreamer, but we encountered compatibility issues, so we modified it to use OpenCV directly. This actually makes it simpler and more reliable. The key modification is in how we open the camera. Instead of using a GStreamer pipeline, we use OpenCV's video capture directly. Let me show you the modified code in action. First, make sure we're in the right environment. So, this is the code. You can see imported packages, input file names, model definitions, and utility functions, bounding boxes, logic, and other required functions, color schemes for bounding boxes, and labels of certain object types. Then, down here are camera device location and capture frame resolutions, etc., and so on. You can go through it for more details. And now, the moment we've been waiting for, let's run object detection. And there we go. You can see the webcam feed with real-time object detection running. You can see the different detected objects like sports ball, scissor, TV remote, smartphone, mouse. We have also programmed to show dangerous items like knife to be showed in red color. This is cool, isn't it? The system can detect and recognize multiple objects. So you can see if we put 2 mouse in camera feed, system detects them correctly with maximum confidence. Check out this another run session, where system detects multiple objects, like water bottles, books, scissors, computer mouse, cell phone, etc. It even tries to detect the table on which we placed all these items. This is cool, isn't it? Now, very important, related to system performance. Look at the terminal. We're consistently getting 15 to 17 frames per second. That's real-time performance, isn't it? What's really impressive is that this is all happening on the FPGA. The DPU is processing the 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝘀𝗁 neural network and hardware, which is why we get such great performance on an embedded device. So how does this all work? Let me break down the processing pipeline. Step 1. The webcam captures a 640 by 480 frame. Step 2. We preprocess it, resize to 416 by 416, normalize the pixel values, and pad it to maintain the aspect ratio. Step 3. This preprocessed image goes to the DPU on the FPGA, which runs the 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝘀𝗁𝘀 model in just 15 to 20 milliseconds. Step 4. We post-process the results, applying non-maximum suppression to remove duplicate detections and scaling the bounding boxes back to the original resolution. Step 5. Finally, we draw the boxes and labels on the frame and display it. The entire pipeline takes 60 to 80 milliseconds per frame, giving us our 12 to 17 FPS performance. Let me share some technical insights we learned during this project. First, why OpenCV instead of GStreamer? The pre-installed OpenCV didn't include GStreamer support, and rebuilding it from source takes hours. OpenCV's native video capture worked perfectly and simplified our deployment. Second, the real performance boost comes from the DPU, not the video pipeline. The DPU handles the computationally intensive neural network, which is where FPGA acceleration really shines. Third, we're using 𝗦𝘆𝘀𝑁𝐴, which is the lightweight version of 𝗦𝘆𝑀. It's been quantized to 8-bit integers, reducing the model size and making it perfect for edge deployment. The model has about 900,000 parameters and can detect 80 different object classes from the COCO dataset. So, where could you use this technology? Robotics, robots that can navigate around obstacles or manipulate objects. Smart surveillance, security systems that can detect people or vehicles. Retail analytics, counting customers or monitoring inventory. Industrial inspection, quality control on assembly lines. Autonomous vehicles, detecting pedestrians, cars, and road signs. Looking ahead, there are several ways to enhance this project, like add object tracking across frames, integrate with ROS2 for robotics applications, train custom models for specific use cases, implement video recording of detections. Okay, so in this way we have seen this project which demonstrated the power of FPGA-based AI acceleration for edge computing. You're getting performance that would normally require a powerful GPU, but in a compact, low-power package that costs a fraction of the price. All the code, documentation, and links are in the description below. Thanks for watching and happy making!